One of the other benefits about close to home that we really haven't talked about is this issue of accountability. And so, as Jeremy said, it's just a few neighborhoods that are really affected by the juvenile justice system. And so by having the system close to home, it can be more accountable to those communities and more accountable to those families and those neighborhoods that are really impacted by the system. And so, I think that it's ironic that the state system in a lot of ways was more accountable than the city system before close to home. I mean, when Gladys became commissioner, she really did a lot of work to increase transparency of the OCFS facilities. Like before 2007, before she was commissioner, the OCFS facilities were a complete black hole. Young people would be sent away to those facilities. No one knew what was happening to them in those facilities. I mean, the DOJ investigation sort of uncovered for the world what we all kind of, on the ground knew was happening to young people in terms of the abuses that was happening. But Gladys really worked very, very hard to change those conditions inside the facilities. And I don't think she brought a lot of attention to that work because she was also really focused on closing the facilities. But so that some of the examples were that before she was commissioner in 2007, when John Johnson was commissioner, for 15 years there was supposed to be an independent review board that hadn't met for 15 years. There was also supposed to be an ombudsman's office. There was only one ombudsman that was supposed to monitor conditions in 31 facilities. So when Gladys became commissioner, she staffed up the ombudsman's office. She reconvened the independent review board. Put advocates on it, including me. She created the sanctuary model to reduce placements and to reduce restraints inside the facility. Worked with advocates to create an LGBT policy. And these are all things that the state was doing that the city wasn't doing. And I think part of the reason the city wasn't doing it was that it wasn't working collaboratively with advocates. And so I think that now that's why I'm personally thrilled that Gladys and Felipe are now in charge of the city system, because there's really an opportunity to really increase transparency, to make the system more accountable to the people who are affected by it, to have greater oversight. And now that people are close to the facilities, you can have these community advisory boards, these review boards really working closely, monitoring what's happening inside the facilities. That's much harder to do when the facilities are 8 hours away from community members. So there's a lot of opportunity now to make the system more accountable. And I think that's one of the benefits of close to home that I think we need to recognize.